what you're describing as an outcome is not the capitalistic society that we live in. You're describing a not even social democratic government. You're describing a utopia that doesn't exist around greed. And, you know, I want to be clear, because this is being recorded, that I am not against progress. I am not against modernization. I'm not against technology. But I think that there has, the gentrification outcomes in the Miami has been brutal. And that displacement of families, where replacement of the families, because when you take something away, there's a void, right? And whatever that void gets filled with, the human beings that have been displaced, there has not been an honest, sincere conversation about replacement or reforming families and neighborhoods. And communities suffer when neighborhoods are dissolved. You know, it is about community, why we have the vibe that Miami has. So for me, I've been quite critical, not vocal, but critical about many of the families that I used to go and have my cafecita with in Wynwood that are no longer there. And they leave, they literally leave by night. Entire streets leave by night. Tony Goldman's view of Wynwood is not a bad view. Look at the outcome. Did he imagine that it would have been what it is now? I don't think so. You know, I was trying to move my gallery when Miami Light Project moved into Wynwood. We were supposed to share space at some point, and Tony Goldman came to those meetings and promised rent-free for years until the neighborhood got up and running. Those promises were not realized because the neighborhood took a fast track to gentrification, the outcome of gentrification. But I don't want to be the bearer of this real doom and gloom that a beautiful building in a neighborhood that didn't have buildings is a bad thing. What I'm saying is, when folks are displaced, there should be a plan to have some sort of human experience happen elsewhere. And I cringe to think of where some of those families have had to live and continue to find work. Don't forget that there was a large Korean community there. The folks that ran the garment industry here in Miami, which no longer, well, it has been pushed further and further out. But in the 70s, you could get the best Korean meal right there on 6th Avenue in the corner, you know, where Marty Margulies has his space. So I like to think that we have made progress. The skyline of Miami did not look as it looks now in the 70s. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And it makes me really proud when I'm flying in. But when we really talk about human beings, lives that have been changed, folks that no longer get to work in the hotels, those kinds of things, those conversations are human conversations that are difficult to answer in a capitalistic society.